Hello, everyone. I'm Lauren Culp, the publisher and CEO at CUInsight.com, and I am joined today by Chuck Fagan, the president and CEO of PSCU. Hi, Chuck. How are you?
Lauren, thank you for having me on. Everything is different, but everything is well.
Good, good. Yes, I can definitely relate to that. At this time, we're usually out at events and meeting some credit union folk and all of that, so different this time of year. Well, we have three questions with Chuck Fagan is the theme of today's show. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right in. Chuck, we know that these are really difficult times. So can you tell us, what is PSU doing to support credit unions and their members during this crisis?
Yeah, so really, Lauren, broad-based in what we're doing. Obviously, a focus around our employees and, realizing not only during crisis, but every day, if we take good care of our employees, then that's going to translate into us doing the right things for credit unions. So I'll start with a couple different things that we've done. Number one, our contact center, as we've moved into this new remote world, we deal with it every year around June 1st when hurricane season starts, but
Right.
even this is different from that. So we've gone remote with over 50% of our call center. We've gone remote with nearly 90% of our fraud detection units, and usually those are units that are in the office, so making those individuals available 7/24 and supporting the increased call volumes. We're seeing call volumes about 140 to 160% given certain times a day, so we're doing our best to support in that manner. We've offered quick hit programs for credit unions to offer skip pay, to offer, reduced interest rates, anything we can do from a program and portfolio side of thing to support the credit unions directly with their members. And then we're also providing credit unions with data that we're seeing live through our data engines. What's happening with transaction volumes, what's happening with purchase volumes and interchange, so that credit unions can manage their card business based on the fluctuations in the market. Now, you're not seeing the travel and entertainment, but you're seeing increased grocery and those kinds of purchases. So really trying to help across a lot of different fronts and be there, when our credit unions need us most.
Well, that sounds great. And you had mentioned the call center is kind of working from home, and there could be a lot of long-term effects of the coronavirus pandemic that we're dealing with. And so thinking ahead, how do you think that this might affect credit unions and the way that we do business in the long run?
Well, I think there's going to be a new normal that comes out of this. There's going to be a period of time, even when the virus slows down. Do you go out to a crowded restaurant? Do you go to a sporting event when they get, gauging back up? Some of that we don't know yet. Right. But I do think when you look at our specific business, one of the things we've always, as an industry, tried to attack is cash. Utilization of cash. I think knowing the virus can be transmitted on paper is going to present a new challenge for credit unions to keep their card products as well as the digital wallets on phones.
Right.
As current, maybe not bleeding edge, but certainly cutting edge, so that the consumer, as they adopt this new reality, whatever it's going to be, that we're there to provide the credit unions what they need so that they keep their cards top of wallet. I mean, we were really early out of the gate, and that's going to pay dividends on contactless. So when you think about, under $10, $15, cash still represents a huge percentage of transactions. And, we because of the ease of using contactless, we really do see an opportunity for credit unions that are out of the gate to really be able to take advantage of the newness of this. And I think this year we'll have about 3.5 million contactless cards out with our credit unions. So that, I think, is going to be a new reality. And it's interesting when you think about the branch, you think about, the ways that credit unions have typically gone about stuff. ATMs, if you see cash going down in terms of transactions, do you really need to get that at a transactional level? And, what we've done through Lumen Digital, what we're doing obviously with digital wallets and all of that, I think we'll be, with our credit unions, as well positioned as possible for some of those new realities. But, there may be some that we don't know yet, but we have, as much data and information as possible. We're getting that from our partners, MasterCard, Visa, Fiserv, and we'll take that kind of all into consideration. And then, I'm talking to a lot of credit unions, CEOs. And what's been interesting in those calls is the credit union CEOs are saying, wow, we've gone through this process of enabling our staff to work remote. And it's like, wow, we did it. And now I think that the topic is shifting to, again, how do we grow? How do we make sure that credit unions get their fair share out of this when we come out of it?
That's such a good point. And I even think, I've been using contactless. I've been using Apple Pay every time that I go get groceries right now. So it will be so interesting to see what sort of those long-term implications are. And how do you do business development, remote, and all of that sort of stuff. So it's an interesting time.
It is. And Apple Pay is such a better experience, isn't it?
Right. Yes, I love it. If I go somewhere now where I actually have to get my card out, I don't appreciate it. So Chuck, you're a really well-known leader in the credit union industry. I'm curious, how are you doing personally? Do you have any tips for what keeps you sane through a crisis or sort of this trying times?
Boy, that's a good one, and I'd say that's evolving as well. I'm learning as we go. Golf is a big thing for me, and while some of our courses are still open, my daughter's expecting twins later this year, so my wife has kind of cut me off. So it's been more, working in the yard is one thing I like to do, and crazy enough, making sure our cars stay clean is kind of relaxing for me too, to go out and wash the cars in the driveway, and in pollen season, doing that pretty regularly. So I'm into a couple books right now, just trying to read a lot about what's going on, global economy and all of that. So albeit that's close to work, I think one of the things that has to happen when you're working out of the house is you have to be able to separate, because it's so easy to get trapped in. And, we're all working longer hours,
Right.
staying focused on it. But I think you do have to carve out time just to get away. And if that's just walking outside, checking out springtime coming into full bloom, or, whatever that outlet might be for you. I've even, gotten into a little bit of a routine during lunch, or at some point in the day, if I can just get in the car and go drive somewhere. I'm not getting out of the car, I stay in, but just to get in and go ride and, get out, just again, to get that separation for a brief period of time, I think is valuable.
Definitely agree. That's funny that you mentioned cleaning. It helps you relax. It helps me relax too. My home has never been so clean. Well, Chuck, thank you so much. It sounds like PSCU is doing a lot to support not only your own staff, but also the whole credit union industry and all of our members. And thank you so much for sharing some time with us and your tips on staying sane. I want to give you a chance, if you have any last thoughts you'd like to share with the folks who are watching today.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank CUInsight for all you guys do for the industry. I know every time I meet with every new employee class here at PSCU, and they're all encouraged to get your daily stream and stay current with what's going on in the industry. So thank you for that. I would just say, you've seen the quote all over, we're in this together. We're treating employees as, our greatest asset, which was a quote that our former CEO really granularized into PSCU. And, simple as for all of our buildings, we wound up ordering double toilet paper, of all things to talk about here. And every employee, we gave 6 rolls, because
Wow.
it's a scarcity. So,
Right.
doing small things during this time for your employees to recognize the efforts. And, we have a very active PSCU Facebook page for employees, and, we're encouraging our employees to post pet pictures, to post wins, things that are worthy of other employees knowing about. So, trying to stay together in all this, I think, is key.
I cannot agree more. We're all in this together. Thank you so much for your time today, Chuck. And it's great to hear what PSCU is doing. We'll link to the PSCU COVID-19 page in the post here. If anyone has any questions, I will direct them your way. And I hope you stay safe and healthy out there. Thank you so much for your time.